Hello, this is Freethought Forum, a program by the Atheist Society of Knoxville and the Rationalist of East Tennessee. I am Shara.
And I am Jonas Holdeman. And we want you to know that if you don't believe in God, you're not alone, even in East Tennessee. Today we're going to speak to you about the secular alternative to Vacation Bible School, Camp Quest of the Smoky Mountains.
While we go over a few announcements, we invite you to think about calling in later. Our number is 215-2288.
Okay, and we would like you to call in the second half of the show so we have an opportunity to explain about Camp Quest. Mm-hmm. Happy Hour with the Atheist Society of Knoxville meet at Barley's tonight after the show for food, drink, and conversation. Meet up Wednesday, December 9th, Cairo Cafe for more of the same. Look for the silver-jacketed copy of The God Delusion standing upright on the table.
And on December the 12th, the Skeptic Book Club of the Rationalist of East Tennessee will be reviewing The Godless Constitution by Kramnik and Moore. This will be at 4 p.m. at the Barnes & Noble on Kingston Pike, and you do not need to have read the book to attend. On December the 18th, RET will be having its annual solstice party where we celebrate the inevitable return to longer days. Solar mechanics, 'tis the reason for the season. Visit our websites for times and locations.
Do you have out-of-town friends who might watch our program or might want to watch our program? Now they can. Go online at ctvknox.org.
Okay. Today we want to talk to you about a local secular alternative to Vacation Bible School, an organization known as Camp Quest of the Smoky Mountains, sponsored by the Rationalist of East Tennessee. Jonas, could you tell us exactly what Camp Quest is and for what purpose it was started?
Well, Camp Quest was started back in 1996 by a group from the interest group at Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky. It was a time when the Boy Scouts of America were kind of cracking down on their belief, on their requirement that Scouts believe in God and profess that belief. And so this group was looking for a secular alternative. And so they organized the camp, and it started, the first 2 years it was held in Boone County, Kentucky, and thereafter it was moved into Ohio. Now in 2002, Camp Quest of the Smoky Mountains was started. It was the first alternate camp for Camp Quest, and within a few years there were 6 Camp Quests around the country. So our purpose of being there is for children of parents of who are secular, non-believers, atheists, agnostics, or whatever, to have a place where the children could go and be able to discuss their beliefs free of pressure from other kids and parents.
Very good. Well, you've answered some of my further questions, Jonas. You've already told us when it began here in East Tennessee, which was 2002, and how it started. And my final portion of that is, and who manages it today?
Wow!
That happens to be you. Well, Jonas, how did you get involved with Camp Quest?
Oh, that's an interesting story.
A long story.
The camp was actually started by Alita Ledendecker from Knoxville, or south of the river, and Edwin Kagan, who was one who managed the Camp Quest in Ohio for the first few years, came down, and the two of them started Camp Quest. Then in 2007, due to some medical problems, the Alida could no longer continue to serve as director and be away for the time it took. And so there was no one to take over, and the camp in 2007 got canceled. And I said, well, you know, in that event, perhaps I don't know anything about it, but we'll give it a try. And so it was at that point that I stepped in, and our camps resumed in 2008.
Very good. You stepped up to the plate when needed. That's great. Could you just briefly explain to us the principles of the camp, and if all the children who attend, are they all atheist or some of them secular humanist?
Well, the camp is based on humanist principles, and perhaps most of the kids, well, in fact, the philosophy of the camp is that these are children, and their belief system has yet to develop. And so we don't regard them as atheists, although many of them do regard themselves that way. Basically, we're trying to encourage free thinking, rational thought, and so we don't engage in any kind of indoctrination. Now, we have had people who are of more traditional religious beliefs ask about Camp Quest, and this is what we can say. We can say we have no test, no requirements regarding the religious belief of the children who are involved or of their parents. However, our camp is conducted under the some of the principles of humanism, and we require that the parents read and state that they have read and understand these are the principles under which the camp is conducted. They don't have to... So
that's given to every parent who sends their child. They get to see this in advance.
It's part of the application package.
Okay, good.
And they don't have to believe or accept these, but simply to acknowledge that these are the
principles that the camp operates on.
Yeah. Now these principles are very general, and I think that practically anyone, any moral person, would be able to accept these. For instance, we believe in an open and pluralistic society, and that democracy is the best guarantee of protecting human rights from authoritarian elites and repressive majorities. We're concerned with securing justice and fairness in society and with eliminating discrimination and intolerance. We want to protect and enhance the earth, to preserve it for future generations, and to avoid inflicting needless suffering on other species. We believe in the cultivation of moral excellence. We are deeply concerned with the moral education of our children, and we want to nourish reason and compassion. So these are, I think, some ideals that most people would find acceptable.
Certainly. It sounds like even people who were involved with the traditional religious organizations in this area would have no problem with these moral principles.
Yes, they're although we call ourselves secular humanists, there are non-secular, theistic humanists who subscribe to very similar principles. Actually, if you read these statements of principles and values, there's no reference to believing in God or existence of God or anything like that. There may be some insinuations, perhaps, but it's really fairly general.
But it's a way of letting the parents know that we will not be indoctrinating their children about a belief or non-belief in a God, that we're simply basing them on general moral principles that even religious people would agree with.
Yeah. The only thing I caution parents is that understand that the reason for the camp is to provide a place where children can discuss their beliefs free of disapproval of other adults and so on, and so if their child has been raised in a narrow, strict religious environment, they might find it uncomfortable. But if they have been exposed to a variety of belief systems, then regardless of what they believe, they should be able to fit in very nicely.
Very good. Let's talk a little bit about the geography of where these children come from, who come here to the Smoky Mountains. What areas of the country do they come from? And on average, how many children from the Knoxville area attend?
Oh, that's a changing situation. Since I've taken over and really pressed an increase in participation development, the numbers have increased considerably.
Good.
The children last season came from 10 different states.
Wow.
From say the furthest away, what might be Illinois, 2 from Illinois.
Good.
Pennsylvania, North and South Carolina, and Louisiana, and perhaps the minority of them come from Tennessee. And in fact, up until this past year, there was only 1 from the Knoxville area. But this past summer, we had 5. And we hope to increase that number.
That's
the total
great.
number we had was 25 plus 10 counselors.
Wow.
So a total of 35 participants.
Very good. Well, we're hoping that some parents and grandparents will call in to learn more about Camp Quest today. Our telephone number is 215-2288. If you are a parent or a grandparent who is interested in summer camps for children, please give us a call. Now we'll explain more about some of the camp's actual activities.
Okay, this might be a good opportunity for Sam to roll some of the video clips
Yes, he has
that we brought in today.
Some lovely videos.
And okay. This past year, I introduced the theme for the camp of friendship, adventure, leadership, and service. And so, if you watch when the camp starts and the kids start arriving, there's great excitement greeting old friends from the previous year. And that friendship is a very important aspect from the children's viewpoint. Adventure, well, we have a lot of adventurous activities, which I'll get to in a moment. Leadership, we have a program called the Counselor in Training. This is for children, the older children, where they assume some of the responsibilities of the counselors, but still recognizing that they are campers primarily. And in the service area, we always have to try to have a little service project to enhance the quality of the facilities there. Adventure, well, we do hiking in the wilderness and always on the lookout for black bears. And we've done horseback riding, and last summer we did canoeing. We do nature studies, looking for salamanders, and we have games out. There's an athletic field, and I haven't mentioned where this is held, and I don't want to steal your question. But when you're ready, I will tell you just...
Go ahead and tell us now. It's in the Great Smoky Mountains. We know that much, but
yes.
Where in the Great Smoky Mountains?
Our camp is held at Tremont in the Great Smoky Mountains, which is, perhaps most of you know, is kind of south and east of Maryville. as it's known locally.
As locals would say, yes.
And